Hey you guys. So today I want to have a chat with you about inspiration. So in the last video I put out, I talked about 7 tools that are gonna help you in the time coming. And I think it's really important, besides that, to be in contact and be really aware of what inspires you, because that can be so individual. What inspires me might not be inspiring to you at all, and vice versa. And I think it's so important because coming in contact with that life force energy, with that, something that ignites that fire within us, so that we want to come into that creation, not only being in a survival mode or waiting really for something to happen or for some clarity to come in, to be or to have that awareness about what really inspires us. I think that's helpful because when we are in a period, for example, where we're, it's a bit flat, don't know really, or we have like a lot of energy, we just really want to channel into something, but we don't know exactly what. If we have awareness of what is actually inspiring to me, that can help us on the path to gain clarity and also to actively seek situations or environments that actually inspires us, and maybe be less in the situations that does not inspire us, if we do spend a lot of time in situations like that. Now, a good while back I made a video on creative energy, on the Kundalini, and that also talks about the importance of that creative energy. And in order for that to really start moving, to get it, out there, we need to find that inspiration. We need to have like something, just those sparks that starts it. And I am really curious to hear what inspires you in your life. What are the sources of inspiration? And to me, because I've been diving a bit into this lately, well, I have several times before as well, but I've been pondering and reflecting upon this also as I've been sitting with the blue beings quite a lot for the last week and a half. And they, at the same time as they guide me with the collective energies, with, for example, like with the tools that I mentioned in the last video, they also point me to my inspiration to really get deeper in the layers, so that the things that I create really comes with that frequency that I hold, with that signature. And I think that's so important for all of us, because when we create the new things, we want it to have that energetic stamp, so to speak. If we are, copycats, or we don't dare to be different, or we, try to fit into some box, we're not really being ourselves. And what inspires you? And please share in the comments. I would love to hear, because that will inspire me back when I, can get new ideas, and also it's super interesting for me to understand more about how, how others are functioning, how, the emotions, the psyche of humans is super interesting to me. But what really inspires you? What gives you that like, what really touches you, like deep within? And I can share some of mine. I think two of the main reasons, or not reasons, two of the main driving forces, you can say, in my life, for me personally, is human experience, like being all in an experience, like really like the senses, taste food, dance. I'm a dancer, I really love dancing. You know, all these really human things, like going into nature, like fully immersing myself in everything in nature. Those kind of things really gives me personally a lot. And then there is this other side of me which really loves epiphanies, which really like loves understanding energy, like that, you know, getting downloads, new insights. You know, for me, that feeling when I get an epiphany, or if I can help someone else to come to a point of a realization, and I see like when it just clicks in someone, I love that feeling as well. So for me, it's like both that really human experience, like really being all in it, and then there is this, you know, growth, self-development, understanding part. And I think for me, one of the things that has inspired me the most for the probably most of at least my adult life is to see people that are truly walking their own path, having the courage to really be themselves, to, you know, go that different way than everyone else's does, or do things in their own ways. And you can really see, you know, you can see their passion, which is, you know, I think you can recognize that frequency of someone being in their own passion, whether or not that is the same passion or interest that you have. You can see it when someone is aligned with their own, like, this, I just love being in this. I think that, you know, see people that are in that frequency, and who really have that courage to be who they truly are. That has inspired me a lot. And that also really shows one thing, which is it's so easy. I think very often if I hear people talk about inspiration, it is the more like obvious things, that I see something beautiful, or like, for example, being a dancer, if I hear some music that really touches me, that is a very inspirational moment for me to start dancing, for example. But very often there are really, you know, a lot of gold hidden in our shadows as well. We often talk about shadows as things we want to hide, things that are maybe not so good, you know, more what we label as negative sides about ourselves. But in the shadows, there can be really, really amazing things as well. And often there can be, you know, it can just be imprisoned by some limiting beliefs about or by fears that we hold. So for example, that experience for me throughout my whole life of being inspired by people who walk, you know, a bit different paths, that really called upon sides of myself that I was hiding in the shadow, because I was afraid of, you know, being that different person, or, you know, showing all of who I am with this weird energetic stuff I'm doing and experiencing, for example. And seeing others that could do that without caring about what other people think and not holding themselves back, that really, really inspired me. That also shows, if you see something like that, like what in other people inspires you, that can really be some clear, like, breadcrumbs on your path to find out what you really want to do, because that is probably something that is like brewing inside of you and just really wants to come out into the light, that you're only holding back, you know, with some fears or limiting beliefs about yourself. So I think going a bit deeper into that, not only thinking that, oh no, that's something just this person can do and I'm not able to do that. If you have that, like, oh, that's so cool, like that's so amazing, you can feel it. It's almost like tangible. It is because it's something that wants to come out of you as well. I think for me, another thing that can be inspiring when I see it in other people is people that are really good at making decisions. they just make a decision and they move forward. That is something I'm in several areas of my life not so good at. So for me, when I see that, that's like some sort of a solid, tangible energy that I want to be more in. So just something like that can inspire me to like feel into that frequency, and then I want to try to feel how is that energy within myself. How can I move towards that, because that's something that I want to hold and embody as well. And then of course there are these things like nature, for example, that can be so inspiring when you just can get really, really calm. You can just be so open. Like the whole system can just be breathing because you're being held by nature. And just, those meetings that you can have with an animal that passes by, or, something that appears, like all those small, incredible, really, really fascinating, amazing details that you can find in nature that can really inspire a thought, a reflection, something you want to create because you see like a pattern or something, or a smell, like, smelling a herb, for example, and you just get inspired to cook something or to create this whole new recipe, or there's so many different things that can inspire us and give us that spark. And when we know more about what those things are for us, it is much more easy to actively look for them, actively start immersing ourselves more in what gives us inspiration, so that we get more of that drive to start creating as well. Things like as I'm talking now, I'm just like really sitting in that energy, and I just feel so many things. So I will not like mention too many. But I'm just like that laughter from a child, that is just, when they're laughing like from the depth of their belly, and it's just like rolling out of them. That, like, it's almost like you can't not laugh yourself, no matter what kind of mood you are in, because it's so real. And it's that, I think that's purity of a frequency is something that really inspires me. Because it's like, it's so easy to feel it. I think, how can I say this? I really would love to hear what you guys get inspired by. I think there's so many more things that inspire us than what we are really aware of. I think it's so easy to walk around in our lives and focus on what we need to solve, problems we need to solve, things that needs to change, the society, in our personal lives, in our relationships, in our work life or whatever. But the more we can be aware or become aware of what's inspiring for you, is it being like in like a completely open room, or do you need a meeting point? For me personally, it's in a meeting point with something that I get inspired and I can start create, whether that's in the meeting point with a client, and I can see, like, I have a certain energy that I can meet and I can look at, and then I get information, and I can get from that even inspiration to a workshop, or to do a video, or it can be as a dancer. It's like, it can be the meeting point with the music, for example, that is just creates these movements in the body that I wouldn't have done if I was just in a blank room. But some people can be really inspired by a completely open room or a completely blank canvas, and then I can become like, what am I gonna do with this? Like, I have nothing to meet, because I need that meeting point. And I'm really fascinated about people that can get like creative out of blankness. I think it's super fascinating. So I would really, really love to hear your sources of inspiration, and maybe sit down and do some reflection, take some notes on how can you, when you get really clear on what inspires you, it can show you, as I said in the beginning of this video, it can show you what lies hidden within you that you maybe haven't seen, or that gold within you yet. And also take some notes, or have a discussion with someone, have that conversation to see what can you do in your life, what action steps can you actually make to be more in the situation, or with people that inspire you, in situations that inspire you, in an environment that inspires you, whether it's like wearing colors that inspires you, whether it's no matter what it is, how can you give yourself more inspiration in your life? No matter what happens in our lives, in our world, we are creative beings. We are here to create. We have life force energy. And it's really important not to forget that. So I would love to hear what you are creating, what you are inspired by, and if you want to share what action steps you're going to take in your life to have more inspiration. Now, I hope this video was hopefully maybe inspiring for you, or could get you in touch with more of your truth about your inspiration. If you liked the video, please share it, like it, comment, subscribe, all of that really helps to get the messages out. I'm really grateful for you being here, and I hope you have a beautiful day. I will see you in the next video. Bye bye.